And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt and said, "This month shall be for you the beginning of the months. This shall be the first month of the year for you. Tell all the congregation of Israel that on the 10th day of this month, every man shall take a lamb according to his father's house, a lamb for a household. And if a household is too small for a lamb, then he and his nearest neighbor shall take according to the number of people. According to what each person can eat, they shall make a count for their lamb. And it shall be without blemish, a male, a year old. You may take it from the goat or from the sheep. And on the 14th day of the month, all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill their lambs at twilight. And they shall take some of the blood and place it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the home in which they eat it. And they shall eat of the flesh of the lamb roasted over the fire. They shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall eat it. You shall not eat any of it raw or boiled, but roasted, with its head and its legs and its inner parts. And this is the manner in which you shall eat it. With your belt fastened around your waist, with your sandals on your feet, and with your staff in your hand. In haste you shall eat it. It is the Passover of the Lord. For the Lord will come and strike down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, of man and of beast. And on the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be a sign for you in the house where you are. And when I see the blood on the doorposts and on the lintel, I will pass over the house when I strike down the Egyptians. This shall be a memorial day for you. Throughout all your generations, you shall keep it as a feast to the Lord, a statute forever. And for 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day, you shall remove all the leaven from your house. And if anyone eats what is leavened from the first day to the 7th day, he shall be cut off from Israel. For on the first day you shall hold a solemn assembly to the Lord, and on the 7th day you shall hold a solemn assembly to the Lord. And you shall do no work on these days. But what anyone needs to eat, this alone may be prepared by you. For you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For on this very day I brought your hosts out of the land of Egypt. And therefore you shall observe this day as a lasting statute for all your generations, a statute forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. There shall be no bread in your houses, no unleavened bread in your houses for 7 days. And if anyone eats what is leavened, from the first day until the 7th day, you shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether a sojourner or a native of the land. You shall eat nothing leavened. But in all the places where you dwell, you should eat unleavened bread. And so Moses called together all the elders of Israel, and he said to them, "Go, select lambs according to your clans, and kill the Passover lamb. And take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the basin of the blood, and touch it to the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And let none of you go out of his house until morning. For the Lord is coming and will pass over the house when he strikes down the Egyptians. But he will see the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorposts, and he will pass over that door and not allow the destroyer to enter the house to strike you. And so, this shall be for you a rite and a statute for you and your sons forever. And when you enter into the land which the Lord is giving to you, as he promised, you shall keep this service. And when your children ask you, what do you mean by this service? You shall say to them, it is the Lord's Passover. It is the sacrifice of the Passover, for the Lord passed over the houses of Israel when he struck down the Egyptians to spare our houses. And the people bowed their heads and they worshiped. And the people of Israel went and did so. All that the Lord had said to Moses and Aaron, thus they did. And at midnight, the Lord came, struck down all the firstborn of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on the throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. And Pharaoh rose in the night, and his servants and all Egypt. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a household without someone dead. And he summoned Moses and Aaron, and he said to them, up, go out from among my people, you and the people of Israel. Go and worship the Lord your God as you have said. Take with you your flocks and your herds as you have said. And bless me also. And the people of Egypt urged the people of Israel to leave in haste, for they said, we shall all die. And so the people took their bread before it was leavened, and their kneading bowls, and they had them wrapped in their cloaks on their shoulders. And they also did what Moses had told them. They went and asked of the Egyptians for gold and silver jewelry and clothes. And the Lord had made them favorable in the sight of the Egyptians. And thus, they plundered the Egyptians.